The moment he opened the door, he saw Pilgrim barging in. It was a hideous sight indeed. A bumpy, scabrous face, a pair of yellow eyeballs, a sunken forehead, and long, protruding fangs. He seemed virtually an overcooked crab with meat inside and cartilage outside. So panic-stricken was the old monk that he slammed shut the door of the abbot chamber at once. Pilgrim, however, rushed up to it and smashed it to pieces, crying, "Hurry up and clean out 1,000 rooms. Old monkey wants to take a nap." As he attempted to hide in the room, the monk official said to the worker, "No wonder he's so ugly. Talking big has caused him to end up with a face like that. Our place here, including Abbot Chambers, Buddha Halls, Bell and Drum Towers, and the 2 corridors, has barely 300 rooms. He wants 1,000 for him to take a nap. Where are we going to get these rooms?" "Master," said the worker, "I'm a man whose gall has been busted by fear. I'll let you answer him any way you please." Trembling all over, the monk official said in a loud voice, "The elder who wants lodging, please hear me. It's truly inconvenient for this small, humble monastery of ours to entertain you. Please go somewhere to stay." Pilgrim transformed his rod until it had the circumference of a basin's. Then he stuck it straight up in the courtyard. "Monk," he said, "if it's inconvenient, you move out." The monk official said, "We have lived here since our youth. Our grandmasters passed the place on to our masters, and they in turn to us. We want to give it to our heirs. What sort of a person is he that he would so rashly ask us to move?" "Venerable father," said the worker, "we can't muddle through like this. Why not move out? That pole of his is going to come smashing in." "Stop babbling," said the monk official. "We have altogether 500 monks here, old and young. Where are we going to move to? Even if we do move out, we have no other place to stay." Hearing this, Pilgrim said, "Monk, if you have no place to move, one of you must come out and be caned." The old monk said to the worker, "You go out and take the caning for me." Horrified, the worker said, "Oh father, with that huge pole, and you ask me to take the caning?" The old monk said, "As the proverb says, it may take 1,000 days to feed an army, but only 1 day to use it. Why don't you go out? Don't speak of being caned by that huge pole." Said the worker, "Even if it just falls on you, you'll be reduced to a meat patty." "Yes," said the old monk. "Let's not speak of falling on someone. If it remains standing in the courtyard, one can crack his head bumping into it at night if one forgets it's there." "Master," said the worker, "if you know that's how heavy it is, why do you ask me to go out and take the caning for you?" After he asked this question, the 2 of them began to quarrel between themselves. Hearing all that noise, Pilgrim said to himself, "They really can't take it. If I kill each of them with 1 blow of my rod, Master will accuse me again of working violence. Let me find something to strike at and show them what I can do." He lifted his head and discovered a stone lion outside the door of the abbot chamber. Raising up the rod, he slammed it on the lion and reduced it to powder. The monk caught sight of the blow through a tiny hole in the window and, almost paralyzed with fear, began crawling under the bed while the worker tried desperately to creep into the opening of the kitchen range, yelling all the time, "Father, the rod's too heavy. The rod's too heavy. I can't take it. It's convenient. It's convenient." Pilgrim said, "Monk, I won't hit you now. I'm asking you, how many monks are there in this monastery?" Shaking all over, the monk official said, "There are 285 chambers back and front, and we have altogether 500 certified monks. Go quickly and call up every one of those 500 monks." Said Pilgrim, "Tell them to put on their long robes and receive my master in here. Then I won't hit you." "Father," said the monk official, "if you won't hit us, we'll be glad even to carry him inside." "Go now," said Pilgrim. The monk official said to the worker, Don't tell me that your gall has been busted by fear. Even if your heart is busted, you still have to go and call up these people to welcome the Holy Father, Tang. With no alternative at all, the worker had to risk his life. He dared not, however, walk out the door, but crawled out instead in the back through the dog hole from where he went to the main hall in front. He began striking the bell on the west and beating the drum on the east. The sounds of these two instruments soon aroused all the monks living in their quarters along the two corridors. They arrived at the main hall and asked, "It's still early. Why do you beat the drum and strike the bell? Change your clothes quickly," said the worker, "and line yourselves up to follow Old Master to go out of the gate in order to welcome a Holy Father from the Tang court." The various monks indeed arranged themselves in order to go out of the gate for the reception. Some of them put on their cassocks, while others put on their togas. Those who had neither wore long, bell-shaped gowns, while the poorest ones folded up their skirts and draped them over both their shoulders. When Pilgrim saw them, he asked, "Monks, what kind of clothes do you have on?" When the monks saw how fierce and ugly he looked, they said, "Father, don't hit us. Let us tell you what we have on. The cloth was donated to us by the families in the city. As we don't have any tailor around here, we have to make our own clothes. The style is called a wrap of woe." Smiling silently to himself when he heard these words, Pilgrim guarded the monks and saw to it that each one of them walked out of the gate and kneeled down. After he kowtowed, the monk official cried out, "Venerable Father Tang, please go to the abbot chamber and take a seat." When 8 Rules saw what was happening, he said, "Master is so incompetent. When you walked inside just now, you returned not only with tears, but you were pouting so much that you looked as if 2 flasks of oil had been hung on your lips. Now, what sort of cunning does elder brother have that makes them kowtow to receive us?" "You idiot," said Tripitaka. "You don't know what's going on. As the proverb says, even ghosts are afraid of nasty people." When the Tang monk saw them kowtowing, he was very embarrassed and he approached them, saying, "Please rise, all of you." The various monks continued to kowtow, saying, "If the Venerable Father could speak on our behalf to your disciple, and ask him not to hit us with that pole, we would be willing to kneel here for a whole month." "Wukong?" cried the Tang monk. "Don't hit them. I haven't," said Pilgrim. "For if I did, they would have been exterminated." Only then did those monks get up. Some went to lead the horse, while others took up the pole of luggage. They lifted up the Tang monk, carried 8 Rules, and took hold of Shamunk, all crowded inside the monastery gate and headed for the abbot chamber in the back. After the pilgrims took their seats, the monks came again to do obeisance. "Abbot, please rise," said Tripitaka. "There's no need for you to go through such ceremony anymore, or your poor monk will find it much too burdensome. You and I, after all, are all disciples within the gate of Buddha. The Venerable Father," said the monk official, "is an imperial envoy of a noble nation, and this humble monk has not properly welcomed you when you reached our desolate mountain. Our vulgar eyes could not recognize your esteemed countenance, though it was our good fortune that we should meet. Permit me to ask the Venerable Father to tell me whether he was eating meat or vegetarian food on the way. We can then prepare your meal." "Vegetarian food," said Tripitaka. "Disciples," said the monk official. "This Holy Father prefers vegetarian food." Pilgrim said, "We, too, have been eating vegetarian food. We have maintained such a diet, in fact, even before we were born." "Oh Father," exclaimed that monk, "such violent men would eat vegetarian food, too." Another monk, who was slightly more courageous, drew near and asked again, "If the Venerable Fathers prefer vegetarian food, how much rice should we cook?" "You cheapskates," said 8 Rules. "Why ask? For our family, cook a pikel of rice." The monks all became frightened. They went at once to scrub and wash the pots and pans and to prepare the meal. Bright lamps were brought in as they set the table to entertain the Tang monk. After master and disciples had eaten the vegetarian dinner, the monks took away the dishes and the furniture. "Old abbot," said Tripitaka, thanking him, "we are greatly indebted to you and your hospitality." "Not at all, not at all," said the monk official. "We haven't done anything for you." Tripitaka asked, "Where should we sleep?" "Don't be impatient, venerable father," said the monk official. "This humble cleric has everything planned." He then asked, "Worker, do you have some people there who are free to work?" "Yes, master," said the worker. The monk official instructed them, saying, "Two of you should go and get some hay to feed the horse of venerable father, Tang. The rest can go to the front and clean up 3 of the Chen halls. Set up bedding and mosquito nets so that the venerable fathers can take their rest." The workers obeyed, and each of them finished the preparation before returning to invite the Tang monk to go take his rest. Master and disciples led the horse and toted the luggage. They left the abbot chamber and went to the door of the Chen halls, where they saw inside brightly lit lamps and 4 rattan beds with bedding all laid out. Pilgrim asked the worker who brought the hay to haul it inside the Chen halls, where they tied up the white horse also. The workers were then told to leave. As Tripitaka sat down beneath the lamps, 2 rows of monks, all 500 of them, stood on both sides and waited upon him, not daring to leave. Tripitaka got up and said, "Please go back, all of you."